There's no expertise. These people can't even reason and understand that they're being exploited for political purposes. And they're making a statement on behalf of an organization that caused $2 billion in damage. It occurred in the summer of 2020 during the height of protest over racism, whatever. George Floyd, they called the cops on him because he was trying to give a fake check to somebody in a bodega.
Whether you're a billionaire funding organizations to try to keep Donald Trump out of office, everything is on the table. We will investigate you and we will end the weaponization.
You remember these kneeling FBI agents that were virtue signaling all across America, like, we stand with George Floyd, who was a repeat convicted criminal, somebody who was in the middle of a commission of a crime, somebody who died by drugs, somebody who was complaining about his breathing repeatedly in the back of the car, blood filled with all sorts of chemicals, and asphyxiation was not the actual cause of death, right? It was basically coronary heart failure. The coroner said his heart just gave out. And of course, we don't want George Floyd to die. We never made celebratory videos or any of those things, but we definitely knew that his death was being amplified and magnified in a way that was being used politically to rally people around the country to burn down large portions of America to the tune of $2 billion in insurance reports about the damage that was caused. They burned down the 3rd precinct in Minneapolis. Kamala Harris was bailing out their criminals. And of course, that was just phase one. We've seen now this escalating into shooting people in the neck and shooting detainees at ICE facilities. But these kneeling FBI agents who couldn't even see that, who couldn't even understand what was happening, all bent the knee and acquiesced to this little scam that was going on to rally people. Remember, we had COVID, except if you were protesting for George Floyd, then COVID wouldn't hurt you. All political. And here, these people are now fired, and we're happy to see it. Can't even believe they got hired in the first place just looking at them. But FBI fires the agents who were kneeling in this photo 5 years ago. And that lady had a tough time kneeling, but you know, she was about to kneel. She just had a tough time. So she was about to kneel. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back here, 7. That dude's an 8 for sure. We'll add her as a 9. She wants to kneel, but it's hard for her. So she's trying to, but now they're all fired. Get out. The FBI, 20, more than even in the photo, fired, including a group associated with the 2020 incident who were photographed kneeling for George. Wow. The latest round of dismissals at the Bureau came at the end of a review by the FBI's inspection division and recommendations evaluated by the Bureau's general counsel. You gotta go. I mean, it's a political statement. Imagine if they were kneeling for Charlie Kirk, okay? Imagine the left. This is like, they shouldn't be expressing their political viewpoint. Charlie Kirk is whatever. But this was a different thing because this was a black man who was killed by a white cop or something, even though he wasn't. So here is the background. The Federal Bureau fired a bunch of people. Latest round of dismissals coming at the end of a review by the FBI's inspection division and recommendations that came from the lawyers. As many as 20 people were terminated in the last round, including 15 associated with the kneeling incident. Goodbye. FBI declined to comment on the firings. The Agents Association, probably going to sue, said in a statement, we already saw, okay, they already lost one. This violates the due process rights of the agents. What's your due process rights? You want to have a trial and be convicted of kneeling or something before you can be fired? That's what they want. Patel's dangerous new pattern of actions are weakening the Bureau because they eliminate the valuable expertise. There's no expertise. These people can't even reason and understand that they're being exploited for political purposes. And they're making a statement on behalf of an organization that caused $2 billion in damage, or maybe a movement that caused $2 billion in damage, or whatever you want to call it. And they called that civil justice or civil rights or something. So they're just kind of dumb. They got exploited. You should obviously not, you should be apolitical, clearly, and not engaged. If you're a politician, fine, take the knee. Even the cops, too. All the cops who are taking the knee all across the country should be fired immediately. All of them. Not only the FBI, anybody. And I wouldn't want them to become political in the Charlie Kirk case or in any of these other cases. They're supposed to be cops and apolitical and not use the agency in order to push a certain political ideology. They're supposed to enforce the law. In fact, this is why many people have total disdain for the FBI because of garbage like this. So now they're gone. FBI agents in a statement said, our due process right. The kneeling incident gained notoriety inside the FBI and drew criticism, particularly in conservative media and among retired agents who know better. It occurred in the summer of 2020 during the height of protest over racism, whatever. George Floyd, they called the cops on him because he was trying to give a fake check to somebody in a bodega. During the height of protest over racism and heavy-handed policing tactics, a group of agents were confronted by a group of protesters. protesters. Trump had urged Bill Barr to regain control of the streets, and so Barr ordered the FBI and other agents to deploy people. However, FBI agents generally aren't trained with crowd control and say, we don't know what to do, so we have to take a knee. Some of the agents that day, recalling how the National Guard situation handled this, decided to try kneeling as a way to de-escalate. No. Give me a break. So in other words, you don't have crowd control? What a joke. I mean, this explains a lot. It's like the sloped roofs problem. They're just not competent. Now, it worked, and the protesters moved on. They're like, good, you acquiesced to our demands. We just had FBI agents cower down like little babies and take a knee. Don't hurt me, George Floyd protester, no. And so we'll just move on. Which, of course, there was a bunch of violent maniacs there who were burning everything down. So, they probably were freaked out. But she doesn't look too freaked out, okay? They don't look too upset over here. You see a bunch of protesters who are, no, she's smiling and giddy. This woman's like, oh, this is a heroic moment. I can't believe I get to participate in the civil rights demonstration across America. Probably has her cell phone recording too, this other lady. Oh my gosh. Good riddance to them. So, of course, you want to express your political opinions, you're happy to do that, but you don't need to be an FBI agent. And so they were de-escalating. They were like crying tears, like, oh. Later, after photos emerged, furious reaction erupted. Top officials under Christopher Wray reviewed the incident and they said, no, Christopher Wray was kneeling all day, probably. But earlier this year, FBI officials decided to reassess the incident, clearly. Said many agents were given reassignments, viewed as demotions by many. FBI officials offered no explanation for changing the roles. Okay, you're doing trash today. Friday's firings are part of a broader effort to purge the FBI, which absolutely has to happen. It's such a good start. I'm happy they did this. And don't take knees if you're an FBI agent for political causes. It's not appropriate. The Justice Department said earlier this year that it is reviewing the conduct of more than 1,500 agents. Gosh, that sounds so good. With cases that have found disfavor to the new Trump era, including investigations of the president and his allies. 2 senior FBI officials, including ones who initially resisted Trump, were fired last month, and good riddance to them. Kash Patel is saying, thank you, Mr. President. We're happy to be doing this. He writes, thank you for your leadership, Mr. President. We're proud of the brave men and women of the FBI for their pursuit of the truth. And I'd like to thank Kash Patel, said Trump, and the outstanding members of the FBI for their brilliant work on one of the most recent indictments here of the worst FBI director in the history of our country, James Dirty Cop Comey. The level of enthusiasm by the FBI was incredible, but only caused by the fact that they knew Comey for what he is and was, a total slimeball. Again, thank you to the FBI and specifically to those that worked on the case with U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan and the DOJ. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again, President DJ Trump. And boy, they are upset out there when it comes to this. Pam Bondi was also talking about this, saying, yeah, no, we're coming after all of you. You can take knees. You can be FBI directors. We really don't care. You're next.
Whether you're a former FBI director, whether you're a former head of an intel community, whether you are a current state or local elected official, whether you're a billionaire funding organizations to try to keep Donald Trump out of office, everything is on the table. We will investigate you and we will end the weaponization. No longer will there be a 2-tier system of justice. And we are working hand in hand, Director Patel and I, Todd Blanche, with our incredible intel community, Tulsi Gabbard, John Radcliffe, going nonstop around the clock. People will be held accountable. That's
right. And they should be held accountable for their past actions and their past misdeeds as FBI agents. We don't just kind of come in with a blank slate and move forward. Like, do you know what you did? You did it good. Okay, you're going to be better now? No. Out. Purges across the board so that actual people who are actually nonpartisan or at least can set aside their partisanship come in and rebuild these agencies. And I think this is a good start. I think this is also a symbolic message to everybody at the FBI. This stuff is not going to be tolerated. And this is basic stuff. Don't politicize your position. Don't endorse certain things with the FBI's badge right on your chest. Should be apolitical. They couldn't understand the functions of the job, so now they're gone. And they're going to sue and they're going to lose. And we're looking forward to it. Of course, we'll keep our eye on these kneeling FBI agents who are no longer FBI agents. They can go get jobs somewhere else.